Well, hello and welcome back. Thanks for coming back. Where are we? Somewhere in Midtown Kissonerga. You're going to get a great view indeed, so don't click off just yet. We're going to go for a wiggle and we're going to go for a waggle, and we're going to work our way through some, well, what should we call them? Some side streets, some back streets in the village of Kissonerga, and slowly but surely work our way down to that, the blue Mediterranean Sea, on a truly spectacality of a day indeed. You will not believe it. We're in the second week of November. It's 29 degrees and it's not even 11 o'clock yet. So one would guesstimate that probably the temperature today will touch 30, and of course it will stay with us until around about 4 o'clock. Then the temperature will start to drop, and of course the night will be upon us, and of course we'll be partying in the downtown Paphos promenade and waiting especially for you. So if you like what you see, well, hit the like, click that subscribe, and perhaps come back for a little bit more of our complete and utter madness. We're in Kissonerga village. Sit back and relax, kick the flip-flops off, get yourself a frappe or perhaps a tot or two, and enjoy the drive. And hopefully we don't get squeezed too much as the roads get that little bit narrower, and hopefully we well, don't have to reverse, because there's a lot of people driving around obviously, and most people haven't got a clue what the width of their car is. Let's take a left. Let's just check there's nothing coming at high speed. No, luckily there isn't. And we will proceed on our trek down towards the main coastal road from Paphos to Paya, or Paya to Paphos, depending on which direction you are going in. But one thing's for sure, the sky, as you just saw, is very blue indeed. And again, the sea, oh my goodness, that's looking beautifully blue. Mr. Paul, he's dressed head to toe in blue. So guess what? Well, that must mean one thing. All that is missing is you. So get yourself on a big bird or a canoe, start paddling like crazy. Paphos, Cyprus, Marika and me. Guess what? We're waiting, especially for you. We're in the banana groves. If you want a banana or two, in those blue bags there, just nip out and have a little rummage around and get yourself a bunch of bananas. This is Kissonerga. Many years ago, to be honest, it was all banana groves. I remember when I first arrived in Cyprus 15 years ago, to be honest, there was Kissonerga village, there wasn't that many houses around. As time's gone on, of course, they've built and they've built. Excuse the road surface, because we are off-roading technically, and of course we are in a Jaguar. Let's hope this road's not a dead end. Last time I came on it was a few years ago, I remember that, and it wasn't. So let's hope that we can get down to the blueness of the blue Mediterranean Sea. And a big shout out to some of the guys that like to come back and watch the show now and again. If your name's Sir Martin, and of course there's a beauty in your life called Lady Rachel, we thank you for coming back now and again. Perhaps you're coming to watch me smoke one of those Romeo and Juliets, you never know. Perhaps if your name is Sir Bernie, perhaps you're hoping that I'm going to do a little bit of lardy-darwin, especially for you and of course your beauty, Lady Jan. Big shout out to the girl in charge of the show. She's in downtown Hartlepool, and of course that's our day man. We're missing you like crazy, but don't worry, May is not that far away, and of course you will be churchki dancing down the downtown Paphos promenade with us, and of course yours and our great friends Lord Andy and of course Lady Ness of Shropshire. They'll be coming on the same day into downtown Paphos. There's a lot of people in Paphos at the moment, by the way. Nick and Kath, they're in Paphos. We've got, who else? We've got Helen, yes, she's in Paphos. We've got Angela, she's in Paphos, and Alison and Dave, they're in Paphos, and they're all the way from uptown in Edinburgh, although Dave originally is from Rhyl in North Wales. Wow, what a small little world it is, isn't it? Who else is in town? Let me think. Ooh, oh Mandy and Mr. Steve, they're in downtown Paphos, and they're here until Saturday, and hopefully they're going to come and see us again in the Pelican restaurant, and we can have a chat, have a bit of lardy-darwin, a bit of Romeo and Juliet in, and of course a drink or two, especially for the superstar in downtown Dublin. And that's if your name is Derek Scully, superstar. Hopefully the cooking's coming on well, and hopefully your LeBouf is still crazy in love with you. We are in downtown Kissonerga. We're on the main coastal road from Paphos to Paya, or Paya to Paphos, depends which way you're going. And of course we are going from Kissonerga to Paphos. This is the St George Crossroads, as we call it. Just over there on the left is the St George Shopping Centre. There's one or two shops in there, coffee shop, there's a property seller, there's a pharmacy, there's a hairdresser, and one or two other bits and bobs, and a restaurant round the back. Angelica restaurant on the left hand side, and if you go to the right you would go straight into the main foyer of the St George Hotel. Now, who's been staying in there? Well, the Pendants crew. They stayed in there, but they left Trixie the dog at home to keep guard of the house and to watch the little channel known as Marika and Me. But there's also some other superstars who stay in there, and one of them likes to eat the living daylights out of that restaurant in there. He really does. He likes to surf on his surfboard, and of course that is our Sir Jim, our surf boy kid, and whenever he's in town he always brings with him his beauty, and that beauty's name is Lady Paula Marie, the greatest nail artist in the world, and she likes to dibble and dabble in a little bit of art and makes costume jewellery as well. And I tell you what, some of it is very nice indeed. And of course Masochin Gracibula LeBouf, that's my LeBouf, Marika, has got one or two of those that she wears now and again. So a big shout out to our Sir Jim, the surf boy kid, and I'm pretty sure that he probably is doing a little bit of Romeo and Juliet-ing, because he's got the habit, shall we say. Yes, one or two of us now are smoking Romeo and Juliets because, well, I don't know, we're getting old. Maybe that's it. Who knows? But a big shout out to Paula Marie, and hopefully that's brought a massive smile to your face. Some guys in uptown Scotland, they like to watch us now and again. If your name's Mr. Doug, perhaps you could pour yourself a rum and coke. But of course there's some stars, really big stars. One of them is called My Cuz King James, and he's got a queen, and her name is Queen Karine. They've got a daughter. Now normally, if you're a king and you're married a queen, that's the way it works, isn't it? If you have a daughter, she has a title as well, and that must mean that she's a princess. So who we're talking about, hopefully her face is lighting up like a Christmas tree. Princess Darlie, a very good morning to you. We're not far from downtown Paphos, by the way. Paphos signpost is going to come up very soon, which tells us we are in Paphos town. We're going to get to the Paphos Mall. We're going to get to the Paphos Mall roundabout, and we're going to take a right, and we're going to go and have a look at the blue Mediterranean Sea on the cusp of the Paphos harbour. And we're going to get to see what's going on, because I think there's going to be quite a few people walking around scantily clad, because of course, as I've said, it's 29 degrees and it's now just gone to 11 o'clock. So if you're looking for a great place to come for your holidays, don't be thinking that November and December is not the time for you, because it could be. It could be the best time of the year, to be honest, because the weather is absolutely perfect. There's no humidity, there's a slight breeze. If you're here in the evenings, perhaps in the promenade and harbour area, if you're a lady, I would recommend you bring a light shawl or a scarf or something like that. If you're a gent, well, bring yourself a long sleeve t-shirt or perhaps a very light jumper. You're not going to need a lot more. And of course, as the winter season is upon us, shall we say, the promenade probably stays open to around about 11:30. The harbour, there are one or two restaurants there that stay open a bit later, but most of them start to close up shop at around about 11. Of course, that means you mosey on back to your apartment or your hotel and perhaps have a tot or two. Perhaps check on YouTube on that little channel called Marika and Me. And if you like us a lot, well, you know what you do. Hit the like, click that subscribe, and perhaps consider to go and hunt us down on the Buy Me a Coffee platform. Buy Me a Coffee is a totally safe and secure platform where you can register and gift us that virtual coffee or two or three or four, as many as you wish. But you can also choose to become one of our superstar members at only €10 a month. Get yourself a special title like Lady so Sweet Caroline, and of course Lord Nigel of the Big Guns. Get yourself that little bit closer to Marika and me. What does it cost you? €10 a month. That's all it is. And of course you get some special privileges as well. Big shout out to some of the guys that love us a little bit. If your name is Lady Zena and there's a man in your life called our Sir Kev, we're talking to you. And we're looking forward to seeing you early in next year. Of course, our Lady Tracy, she's coming back to downtown Paphos in May and again in September because she wants to party the night away again with Sir Martin and of course Lady Victoria, and we'll get you all crammed in the back of the car. But if I was you, I'd keep my hands on my eyes, not my hands. Well, you never know. You might want to keep your hands on him as well. But I keep my eyes on Sir Martin because his hands do like to, well, should we say, get adventurous. Last time we had him in the back of the car, he was literally on the roof because the car was full of girls. And of course the day man was sitting in the front. She was a clever girl. She was sitting nice and close to Mr. Paul. We're on Tomb of the Kings Avenue. Who likes to come here? Let me think. If your name's Baron John, there's a girl in your life who likes a bit of cheese and a bottle of wine or two. That's Baroness Louise. Well, you'll be coming back to Paphos in March and of course in April again. And of course you'll be bringing the singing sensation, our baby barn hook, Miss Fern. And if she's coming, that must mean that Harry the Keeper is coming as well. And you never know, we might pop into the Chloe's Chinese restaurant and do it all over again and have a spectacality of a meal indeed. Andrea, what are you doing? Switching the lights to red, especially for Mr. Paul. Big shout out to Lady Andrea and of course Sir Mart. They are in downtown Damp, Norwich. Yes. Who else lived in Norwich? Let me think. Ooh, yes. The superstar. The girl that loves Coral Bay and Payer. And that must mean we're talking about Lady Hallie. And of course the man in her life who likes to pop to the flower shop and get that bouquet or two. Of course that's Sir Neil. They're coming back next September. The villa is booked. The flights are booked. And of course the two dads, Sir Brian, he's coming again. And of course Sir Mike, no, he's a lord. Lord Mike is coming as well. And we're looking forward to that. Of course September's not that far away as we get that little bit older, shall we say, or as we relax in our life, shall we say. Time seems to go that little bit faster. So don't forget to get yourself on the internet, hunt down the little channel known as Marika and Me. Check out all of our little videos. Go and hunt in our back catalogue. I was sitting with Andros in the Pelican restaurant, that's the boss, and he was saying to me last night, have you ever done any videos on the beach? And I said, yes. So I googled some beach videos and oh my goodness, his eyes popped out of his sockets and he said these immortal words, oh yeah. And I bet our views went up a little bit last night as of course he feasted his eyes and digested as Mr. Paul sunk into the blueness of the blue Mediterranean Sea. Although I think he wasn't looking for me, I think he was looking for the most beautiful woman in the world. And of course her name is Miss Archie Gracilia LaBouffe. Stick with us. The Gate of Paphos Mall is coming up, and of course the Mall roundabout. We're going to take a right and we're going to head down to the downtown Gate of Paphos promenade and harbour area for a view to die for. I'm going to take you around the back of the restaurants to see what's going on in the car park because there's improvements going on. You're going to get a view past the Paphos Castle, over the new sunset viewing point, out into the abyss of the blue Mediterranean Sea. Paphos Mall, Kings Avenue Mall to give it its correct name, is on the left hand side. This is the Mall roundabout. There's some Gumbarus in a hire car. Why they're in a hire car, I don't know, but they've got police uniforms on, that's for sure. Who knows what they're doing? These police, they're always driving around doing something, aren't they? Could be police from out of town or whatever, who knows? But let's not get our front ends stuck up their bottom because they all might jump out with their guns and shoot us. Talking about that, the police in Paphos, by the way, are always very, very polite and very, very nice indeed. If ever you've got any problems, go up to them. Obviously remember, English is not their first language, or Polish. Perhaps if her name is Miss Anna, our superstar, but she speaks perfect English. She lives in downtown Krakow in Poland. She's the greatest lawyer in the world. And hopefully you're feeling much better now, Anna, and hopefully Mr. Bart is. Great news to hear that Mr. Bart got 74 out of 74 on his driving test theory. Next, he'll be driving around in a Lexus or two, that is for sure. But like I said, the policemen go up to them, obviously speak in slow, try and be clear with your English and explain what your problem is, and they will always do their utmost to make sure that they help you. Perhaps if you're lost, perhaps, you know, if you've lost something, or perhaps someone has, or you think someone has stolen something from you, go up to them, make a report, and of course they'll do their very, very best to help you. But don't interrupt them around lunchtime, because they do like to go and have a frappe or a pork kebab or two. And on a hot day on the promenade, they're in their little hutch with the aircon on. So again, if it's too hot, try not to disturb them, otherwise they'll get a little bit upset and they may just shoot you. Is this chap crossing on the zebra crossing, or is he just drinking a can of that stuff for Lady Andrea? Terrible stuff. It was even worse than normal Pepsi, wasn't it? It was Pepsi Max. Yeah, absolutely terrible. Coke, the real thing. That's what we want. Anyway, for that, as promised, that is a view to die for. Straight out across the blue Mediterranean Sea, and the sun is glistening on it, especially for you. That's the wood kiosk. That's where the promenade ends, and this is where the harbour area begins. To the right-hand side is the car park harbour, and it's free of charge at the moment, and the rumour has it all next year it will still be free. So that's good, because everywhere else you have to park in Paphos, you have to download an app. Can't be bothered with that. That's just like modern thinking for me. All the deliveries are going on in the harbour, as you can see. This is the Vasilis fish market. They're delivering really, really fresh fish that was probably caught in the early hours of the morning, and they're delivering it to all the restaurants. Obviously the restaurants do a lot of fish dishes, but if there's something else you want, like a hamburger, I tell you what, in the Pelican restaurant, that hamburger is exceptionally good indeed. So this is the car park to the rear of those restaurants. Again, at the moment this is free of charge, and they're doing some improvements, putting up a wall, putting in a pavement for us to be, should we say, separated from the traffic. Slowly but surely, Paphos is becoming more beautiful than it ever was. It'll always be beautiful because, of course, there's a thing out there that's blue, and there's a sun up in the sky that glistens upon it, and it always gives you that great feeling, and it will always make you feel wonderful. That's the sunset viewing point, which is now completed and open. That's the Paphos Castle, and out over there is the blueness of the blue Mediterranean Sea. I'm going to say thanks for watching. If you like what you see, hit the like, click that subscribe, and don't forget to come back for a little bit more of my complete and utter madness. Doesn't get much better than that, does it?